What's going on, everyone? It is Jack from the Breakevens giving you a special video today. Today I will be searching diamonds in the rough.
Yes, yes, there he is. My diamond in the rough.
I've searched the deep depths of the SuperCoach ownership percentages and found some diamonds who could possibly be a pod pick for you that you may not be thinking about. Before I get started, don't forget to hit us up on our socials on Twitter at BreakeVensPod and on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, The Breakevens. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Breakevens. Okay, so let's get into these diamonds in the rough. My first option is Adam Sard at 567k, the 7th highest scoring defender last year, with an average of 103.1, has only 3% ownership, and he's a massive pod cheap option for your D3 pick to start with. With 14 tons in 22 games, it's very hard to say no to this man. We've seen what he does, runs, gets the ball and runs and takes 50 bounces per step. And he's got a very big kick. With those 14 tons, we can see how well he does play. So I reckon he's a very good D3 option, especially with that 103 average last year. My second one is a surprise one from last year with Dan Houston at 545k defender. Similar to Sard, he only had an average of 99, and he's only in 1% of teams. He had 9 tons with a high score of 144, which shows he can produce off the halfback flank. Last year he did move up to the wing a little bit, and it lowered his scoring and his average. But throughout this preseason, he's been training on that halfback flank, and he looks set for a massive start of the year like last year. It looks like a nice tasty grab there at 545k. My third one is Jack Azebel at 356k forward. With Clarko coming in, he has been training in the back line, which is looking like he's going to have his 2021 role where he averaged 107. He had 11 tons with a high score of 169. Aaron Hall also doesn't look like he'll be playing round one, which will give more kickouts to Jack Siebel in 2021. And with only 2% ownership and at 350k forward, he looks like a massive lock at the moment with his price, and like in 2021, he could be a mainstay in our teams if he can produce those numbers, if not more. Also expect that DPP to come in for him to be a defender, so you'll be able to utilise him either in forward or defence. Looks like a very big grab, especially at 356k minimum. He'll make money, and at best he'll be a mainstay in our teams. My next one is Ben Long, 353k defensive forward with 1% ownership. With a move to the Gold Coast, Ben Long looks set to be training off the half back. Ben Long could be an interesting mid-price pod, as he's shown he has the ability to score over 100 on occasion when playing that half-back role. And with the new team, it looks like he'll be playing round one and could be getting consistent games, unlike with the Saints where they mainly used him as a sub, but they also played him forward, mid, and back, which did not help his scoring. He had an average of 65, I believe it was last year, 64.5 or 65. He's someone to look out for, and on the riskier side, be someone who can enhance your defensive forward and be that money-making player if you're scared to pick an Elliot Yeo or someone along those lines who have more of an injury history. I can see him playing round one and not being the 23rd man / sub. My next pick is Nick Martin from Essendon, 436k forward midfielder, averaged 79 last year and has 2% ownership. He was a revelation last year in his first year, scoring a few hundreds and a few 90s as well. And going off the Essendon intra-club game under Brad Scott, it looks like he's touted for some more midfield time. He's been impressing there, which can only enhance his scoring potential, but also his averages. More midfield time can see more consistent scoring than sitting forward more times than not in random games. So he looks like someone who could slot in that F3 spot a bit cheaper than your Errol Gouldens and your Dustin Martins and players around there, and can do a job, if not push up to that 95 100 average. He can be someone who's going to have consistent scoring and be able to upgrade in 6 odd weeks when the DPP comes in, and if we get any cheeky forward DPP players in. But I think he's someone who can push and be a F6 this year, with that more midfield time. My next one is Jordan Ridley at 504k, an average of 91 with 2% ownership. With Brad Scott coming into Essendon, they are looking to play a more slow possession football, which we are used to with them, and that's exactly where Ridley excelled. In 2020, we saw him average 101.9, and in 2021, 98.7 with this style of play. We can see Ridley enhance his scoring up to that hundreds again, but with more experience under his belt this time. With this game of with this style of play, we can see him push at I can see him pushing up that 105, if not more, which at a start of 504k looks to be absolutely ridiculously cheap. Someone to look out for sure. And my last pick is Windhager from St Kilda. 266k mid forward, 6% ownership, average 48 with a tagging mid roll last year. But under Ross, it looks like he's going to be dropping the tag and just playing as a pure midfielder. He's shown he's got skills on the ball and an ability to play. Coming into his second season, playing as a pure mid, not a tagger, we can see him easily double his average and push it up into the 80s, which would give him that 150k, which is a great upgrade choice. And especially with that forward DPP, with a lot of key forwards as the rookies, I can see him being a great starting on-field choice. With him producing those 80s that I expect, he will be a kick rising starter, mid pricer that you'll be able to upgrade early on. Either that's a midfield, getting a midfielder, or forward, getting one of the top forwards like a Connor Rozee if you do not start him. And that's going to be all for me today. Hopefully, I've been able to help you with some pointed different selections and thrown out some new names in your thought process. Don't forget, we have the Breakevens group for everyone to join. The code is 432856. Be sure to join in, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the Breakevens Pod and at Breakevens Pod, sorry, and subscribe on YouTube at the Breakevens. Thank you for watching and listening wherever you saw this from, and until next time, it's bye for now.